Hello, welcome to the Trews. The Trews is true news. Subscribe here to receive Trews all the time. We are in a war now. There is a war. Do you feel like you're at war? You are.
Here they go again. RAF Tornadoes will be attacking targets in Iraq soon. 11 years after the Bush-Blair invasion, 24 years after the Gulf War.
We're at war. War, what is it good for? People are always asking us. We still don't entirely know. Let's see if by the end of this episode of The Trews, we know why we're at war and how we, as human beings, the people upon whose behalf this war is being waged, to see how we benefit from it. First up, it's David Cameron. He's in charge of us.
Now, of course, it is absolutely right that we should learn the lessons of the past, especially what happened in Iraq a decade ago.
What about the lesson then that last time there was war in Iraq? It was really recent. It didn't work. Not that lesson.
But we have to learn the right lessons.
It won't work anyway, and it's going to make stuff worse. It will lead to ground troops. That won't work either. It will make stuff worse. Whenever in history we've done things that are like this, it's made things worse. Those are some lessons from history.
Yes to careful preparation. No to rushing to join a conflict without a clear plan. But we must not be so frozen with fear that we don't do anything at all.
This is by Trevor Tim, writing in The Guardian. He points out that it didn't work, the previous military action in Iraq. And remember when it was the Taliban that we had to control in Afghanistan? What's that doing now? Nothing. Has that just gone away? It's still all happening. What's that like? It's weird how the news agenda moves, isn't it? You should think, well, what's happening in Gaza now that there seems to be sort of like the narrative has moved? It's really peculiar, isn't it? The way that the way that the emphasis lands. And like, if it's like, you know how they sort of try and couch it as sort of humanitarian, like, well, we can't, like, just, what do we do? Be frozen with fear, do nothing? Yeah, no, you're right, Dave, we shouldn't be frozen with fear, we should do something. What are we going to do? We're going to bomb them. Oh, didn't we do that before? Yes, we did, but it'll work this time. Okay. Why are we doing it again? Because to help, we've got to help the Syrians. If any single one of those Syrian refugees tries to come in this country, fuck off! I thought we wanted to help Syrian refugees. We want to help them over there with bombs, not here with dinner.
We should be comprehensive, defeating the ideology of extremism that is the root cause of this terrorism.
You are creating the ideology of extremism. They know that. They're not stupid. They like extreme ideologies because they like us being frightened, because when we're frightened of ISIS, we're not thinking, and what about what's going on in this country? What about why are we not housing people? Why are we not spending money on hospitals? They know.
Along with our European partners, we've already been supplying equipment directly to Kurdish forces.
Good idea. Get ready for a story in 2 years. Kurdish rebels are attacking. We have to get these Kurdish terrorists. They're total bastards. We don't know where they got these weapons or why they're such bastards, but get them we must in the battle of ideas against Kurds.
Iran should also be given the chance to show it can be part of the solution, not part of the problem.
Now look here, Iran. I'm going to give you a little chance to join in an unjust war against people who live near you. And if you behave yourself, you're all right by me.
Order. The question is the motion on Iraq, coalition against ISIL, as on the order paper.
This is always good when you see the Houses of Parliament. This always makes you think, well, okay, there's this complicated situation going on in the Middle East. Our public services are deteriorating. The rich are getting richer and richer. Ordinary working people are unable to house their families. But it's okay, because we've got a parliamentary system and fine traditions. Guys, it's over to you.
As many as are that opinion say aye.
Aye. You what? Say aye! They're in charge of us.
Of the contrary, no. No. Aye. Division, clear the lobby.
Clear the lobby. Half-mast, Mr. Christian. You're not on a boat. This is fucking Houses of Parliament. If that was my job, I wouldn't be able to tell my wife where I was going anymore. Where are you going, love? I'm a pervert. Just going out for a wank in the garden. You're not going to Houses of Parliament to do all that. Aye, dressed up as a little wizard boy, are you? No, I'm honestly, I'm going to wank over next door's washing.
Look at what the House of Commons agreed to. Iraq, Afghanistan, in this government, Libya, none are success stories. Are we going to embark on action that could last for years?
That's why I think parliamentary democracy doesn't work in its current form, because it's not representative enough. That poor bloke, you see, he's knackered. I've been saying for about 150 fucking years. Stop going to these fucking wars. Oh, we're going to another war. Oh, bollocks. Down I go.
This will not be solved. Every matter will be made worse. Extremism will spread further and deeper around the world, just like happened as a result of the last Iraq war.
I've not entirely forgiven George Galloway for pretending to be a cat in Big Brother while I was hosting it, but the fact is the man's right on this subject.
The last people who should be returning to the scene of their former crimes are Britain, France, and the United States of America.
Galloway makes a good point here. Now, he's not for everyone, George Galloway, but what you can't deny is what he's saying here is true. One thing that we do know is, according to a New York Times report, 6 weeks into the airstrikes in Iraq, it ain't made any difference to ISIS, and it's acting as a kind of recruitment campaign, because that's just an obvious thing, isn't it? That you just think, like, you go, oh, do you want to join ISIS because there's a terrible war? No, things are not that bad. Fucking hell, yeah, all right, I will join ISIS. It's sort of blatantly clear. 6,000 new recruits have joined since the strikes began. So that's really bad. The Pentagon are not acknowledging that there have already been civilian deaths in Syria. They're denying that, and they're controlling the evidence. This is from Trevor Tim's piece. Bombing raids will increase hatred of the West. One of the wider results of the war on terror has been to spread Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups across whole regions of the world. In 2001, there were relatively small numbers of such militants, centred mainly in Pakistan. Now there are groups across the Middle East, Central Asia and Africa. That's just common sense. There's a direct corollary between bombing these people and radicalising more people.
Order.
Right, when organising parliamentary democracy, do you think we should have one geezer stood to the side with a wig on, looking a bit like Batman's nan? Oh yeah, definitely have one of those. Do you reckon we should have like 4 toffs stepping forward in a posh way? Oh yeah, let's have that.
The ayes to the right, 524. The noes to the left.
You do the eyes to the left. You do the nose to the right. This is democracy. We'll do it all night. It's bombing Iraq. That's really driving us insane. Let's bomb the Middle East again.
43.
Thank you.
It's like a weird transsexual cult. Thank you. Thank you. It's weird that we're doing this. This is normal.
The ayes to the right, 524. The noes to the left, 43. So the ayes have it. The ayes have it. Unlock.
What's the unlock bit mean? Unlock. Right, out you go. It's the democracy goblin. How can all that happen? Aye, clear the lobby. Batman Nan, deliver the letter. We're gonna kill some kids.
British Muslim leaders have already united to condemn IS, but should that extend to backing military action against them?
We should have to negotiate with them, sit down and negotiate, because you will create thousands of ISIS.
You probably want some solution-based news. Here is some from Phyllis Bennis from the excellent Stop the War website, Stop the War Coalition, excellent organisation. You might want to get involved with them. What solutions do they suggest? Well, Phyllis says, firstly, stop doing airstrikes. Clearly that's an important ingredient in the recipe for less violence. Don't do any violence, don't build more violence. Do you know how much it costs to fire a bloody Tomahawk missile at someone? Enough pricey. Imagine that you just think, I like killing people, it's fun, right? You're a murderer or something like that and you're into it. This attack's going to cost loads of money that we need. One Tomahawk cruise missile costs 850 grand, enough to pay the annual salary of 28 NHS nurses. Every time you do a Tomahawk missile, you're firing 28 NHS nurses. We have another 28 NHS nurses, you bastard! Secondly, the thing that Phyllis says is make a genuine commitment to no boots on the ground. They're already sort of lubing us up for that through Tony Blair. You know, we might need boots on the ground, not brogues on the ground, like I wear and my family wear. Those will be staying on nice, comfortable ground in the Oxfordshire area. But we want working class boots right there in the middle of bloody Syria. Make a genuine commitment to not do that, says Phyllis. And step 3, and this is the way it really intrigues me and it's fascinating. Do you know, why don't you ever hear, Obama or Cameron or someone go, Right, we went over to Syria and Iraq and that to talk to the leaders of ISIS and other important dignitaries in the region. They're just not listening. And no one's ever done it, have they? We've tried everything. We've gone, look, what do you guys want? We're sorry. Like, we've tried, what do you need us to do so we can bring about peace? You would at some point try diplomacy. You would at some point try communication. You can't. They're all radicalised. They're lunatics. They're beheading people. Why? I don't know. They seem to think that they're under constant aerial attack and that it's been going on for years, and that the true economic reasons behind it are masked, and it's a continual war to keep the domestic populations of those countries terrified so that they won't be able to focus on their own problems. Diplomatic solution, as you know from your own life, you won't get anywhere through violence and aggression. You have to carry that in you. If you're opposed to brutality, if you then become the servant and the vehicle of further brutality, then you are the manifestation of the wrong that you claim to oppose.
For the third time in a quarter of a century, MPs have voted to deploy our armed forces in Iraq. That's how it begins. No one knows how or when it will end.
Well, you've seen the Trews. I think at the end of it, if you want more information, why not look at what Phyllis Bennett is saying from the Stop the War Coalition? Read Chris Ninem's article on 9 reasons MPs should have voted no. But most importantly of all, you yourself become engaged in reality. You know what reality is. You live in it. You know that violence isn't going to be the solution. You know that what is happening here with this war is their economic interests are being pursued and they're distracting us from domestic problems. Trews is the news. If the news was true, that was some Trews. Subscribe here.
Is a tool that is abused to fool you and to leave you scared and confused. Trews is like the news. If the news was true, I want some Trews. Let's have some Trews.